Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Sade. Thank y'all so much for joining me for our astrology talk. For today, we are diving into what this Gemini full moon can mean, as well as some tips to really help you along the way for this Gemini full moon that is taking place this week of November 27th. Now, before I dive into this full moon information, if you have not seen any of my videos on what the Gemini archetype means, Sagittarius archetype, as well as what is a full moon as opposed to a new moon, go ahead and head over to my channel as well as my website, Hidden Alchemy by Sade, where you can find tons and tons of this information, as well as scheduling your own personalized astrology reading with me. Let's go ahead and dive in and get started. So we have a Gemini full moon happening on November 27th, but usually I am a person that can feel the energy of a full moon days before, as well as the full week that the full moon is taking place. So since this full moon is taking place at the start of the week, just go ahead and allow yourself some space to feel this energy vibrating through the week, as well as you might have felt this through the previous Thanksgiving holiday week that we had before. Full moons are a time of culmination. It's when the moon has reached its peak. And we have full moons when the sun and the moon are in two opposing signs. So, right now, we are in the lovely Sagittarius season. So, happy birthday to any Sages out there. The sun is in the sign of Sagittarius, which is masculine in energy, fire sign, and it is mutable. The moon is in the sign of Gemini, which is air, masculine in energy as well, and also mutable. So, whenever we're dealing with signs that are mutable, we know that it is a time of change, it is a time of movement, and it is a time of adjusting. Right now, we are beginning our transition into the winter solstice, which will bring us to the darkest time of the year, depending on where you are in the world. For some folks, it might be the lightest time of the year. But in any case, the purpose of mutable signs is to really prepare us for a shift and a change that is going to take place. So when we're working with the signs of Sagittarius and Gemini, these are two signs that are very social and very big on connection, very big on information, and most importantly, great in inspiration as well as truth. With Sagittarius being that fire energy and that fire element, Sagittarius are really big on seeking your journey and having optimism along your way. And while you're on your journey, while you're along your way, you're going to meet people along the way that will continue to inspire you and that will continue to give you new forms of information. That's where Gemini energy comes in. Gemini being this air element, whenever we're dealing with air energy, we're dealing with the intellect, we're dealing with connection, we're dealing with information, with facts. And Gemini is the sign of the twins, right? Geminis are always looking for their mirror in other people, always looking for relationships because it's a form of not only connecting but exchanging ideas. Gemini is ruled by the lovely sign, the lovely planet Mercury, and Sag is ruled by the lovely planet of Jupiter. So we have the planet of communication and then we have the planet of inspiration. So, what can we expect to really take from this full moon aspect of Gemini and opposing Sagittarius? And really, it's this notion of, are we around the right people? Are we around the people who are inspiring us to move forward on our journey, to think big? Whenever we're working with Sagittarius energy, because it's ruled by Jupiter, it's this notion of expansion, this notion of this is an idea or an ideal that I have, and I can actually take this idea and make this grand, make it big. Sag is all about believing in oneself, personal belief, personal truth, and really one's own philosophy. Like I said, if you haven't seen my video on the Sagittarius archetype as well as the Gemini archetype, check that out so you can have a better understanding of this full moon energy. Now, when we deal with Gemini, we're dealing with connecting with different people that can give us information along our journey. So, with this full moon, are you surrounding yourself with people who are inspiring you to do better, with people who are inspiring you to dream bigger, to do more for yourself, right? And what is the personal belief that you have for yourself, the personal beliefs that you want to move forward on your journey? And are you in the right environment? right? Whenever we're dealing with Sag and Gemini, we're also dealing with local. Gemini rules like your local environment. Sagittarius rules abroad, international studies. Both can be local, but because they are both bringing this mutable nature, we're really diving into travel. So if you don't find that you are inspired, then maybe it is time to change locations. Maybe it's time to change cities, to change states, to change countries, right? But it doesn't only have to be the physical environment, it could just be your friendship environment, it could be your work environment. Are you learning something new? Gemini is the student, Sag is the guru, the teacher. They're both teachers, but Sag really teaches us the wisdom that we learn along our journey, and Gemini teaches us the facts, the information. So, where on your journey are you feeling stuck? Sagittarius rules the hips, Gemini rules the lungs. Where are you feeling stuck? Where are you not feeling that you are expanding? Where might you need some more inspiration? You might need to surround yourself with those types of people. You might need to get out of your comfort zone. So, definitely with this full moon energy, because it is in mutable signs, it is asking us to change. It's asking us to adapt to a new way of thinking. Gemini ruling our intellect, a new way of thinking so that we can really have these ideals that we want for ourselves and for our future. This season of Sagittarius is really asking us to celebrate amongst other people. That's why Sag is during the holiday season. And of course, the holiday season can mean many of things depending on the type of person that is, engaging in the holiday spirit or engaging with family or maybe pain from family and friends. But in any case, once we get into the Sagittarius energy, society is pushing this notion of celebration, getting together, coming in community, hanging out with friends, hanging out with family. So, really using this Sag season of being around those who inspire you, being around those who are also dreaming big, even if it might be outside of your comfort zone. Sagittarius is fire, so it's all about taking that risk to move forward and propel along your journey. Now, a few things to keep in mind with this full moon energy, we do have some harsh aspects. So, even though we have this energy of fire and air, we have a square with Saturn. Saturn is in the sign of Pisces and it is squaring this moon energy. And whenever we're dealing with Saturn, we're dealing with restrictions, we're dealing with karma, we're dealing with boundaries, and we're also being asked to slow down. So even though this full moon energy is masculine in nature, so we want to act, we want to move, Saturn is in Pisces is saying, but hold up, these ideals that you have can happen, but there's personal work that you need to do within yourself, especially because it is in the sign of Pisces. Pisces is feminine. So whenever we're dealing with feminine energy, feminine nature is asking to be more internalized. So Saturn in Pisces is showing us that, hey, these things that you want, these connections, this environment, it can happen. It will happen. Keep dreaming big. But there are things that you have to change within yourself. There are habits that you have to get rid of, right? Pisces rules addictions. So there's habits that you have to get rid of. There's things that you have to strengthen on a personal level so that you can manifest this new reality. The great thing about the Sag energy being ruled by Jupiter, Pisces also being ruled by Jupiter, as well as Neptune, is this notion of manifestation of our dreams, of our ideals. But the manifestation has to start internally, it has to start with the self. And that's what this Saturn in Pisces is reminding us, that these things can happen and they will happen, but keep taking those steps of discipline, of due diligence, of responsibility, of accountability within yourself so that you can manifest and really materialize these things. Another aspect that might not be too strong now, but it will be strong through the rest of December, is Mercury is in its pre-retrograde shadow and it will station retrograde on December 15th in the sign of Capricorn. So again, asking us to slow things down and to just take a moment and really look at the facts and the details, right? Gemini rules information on a factual level. Don't get caught up in the details, but really look at the facts and the details and then balance it out with what you truly feel in your intuition, in your heart, right? Your own personal philosophy, but take a moment to look at the facts and the details around you, the information that is being given to you, and just take a breath, take a moment to really know if these new areas of your life you want to move into and where it's coming from, right? Is it coming from a foundational place? Especially it being in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn wants to be foundational, it wants to have purpose and meaning. Or is it just coming from a fleeting desire, a fleeting want? So, really just take some time with this full moon to check in on those dreams and those ideals that you have and know that it has to start from self. Once it starts from self, then you can go ahead and materialize these things. However, don't feel rushed to make decisions based off of information that you're getting right now, because there is a lot of information going around because it's Gemini energy, but we have Mercury that is slowing down, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So you want to take a step back before going ahead and making decisions that can really alter and change your life and your trajectory. In any case, y'all, hope you all have an amazing full moon, an amazing Sag season, as well as an amazing holiday season. Again, feel free to check out my website, Hidden Alchemy by Sade, where you can book me for your personalized readings and to see where these full moons and new moons will be taking place in your chart. All right, everyone, I will see you for our next video.